Okay, so I promised you I would let you look at the entire board before I started to erase it, so here you go. Hopefully that was long enough for a screen cap. Okay, so Beowulf decides that he does not want to fight Grendel with armor. He's not going to use armor, and he is also not going to use a weapon. And he's doing that because he wants it to be fair. So again, he's an honorable guy. He's like, the monster doesn't have these things. The monster doesn't have armor. The monster doesn't have a sword. And in order for it to be an honorable contest, then I need to fight the same way. It actually says that the only reason that Beowulf wins the fight is because he does that. Because there is an enchantment that's been cast on Grendel, which means that he can never be wounded by any blade that's been made by man. So the way that Beowulf kills him is the only way that he could have died. Which is kind of interesting. So him wanting to be honorable ended up leading him to success. So Grendel shows up in part 3. And it is extremely explicit about the eating scene. When he grabs one of the guys, and it says he is biting into the bone lappings, like kind of when you are eating like a chicken wing and it's one of the flats and you're having to get all the stuff out in between the little bones. That's what he's doing to that guy. And it's extremely detailed. Now, Beowulf is kind of pretending to be asleep at this point. And he essentially jumps up, grapples him. And this was one of the questions on the quiz. It says, true, false, it's third person limited, only from Beowulf's perspective. And that is false, because at this point in the narrative, it actually goes into the perspective of Grendel. You actually are feeling what Grendel is feeling, and it says Grendel is terrified. He's never felt anything like this in his life. You almost feel bad for him because he can't even process somebody being stronger than him. He's just never come up against it, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And so everybody is standing around him trying to hack at him, and of course it's not doing anything, but Beowulf is just so strong that he essentially ends up ripping off his arm. And Grendel slinks back basically to die, to bleed out. He slinks back to his swamp lair. And they hang up the arm to show on the top of Heorot as kind of a trophy, saying, you don't have to worry about this anymore. Beowulf, ever the perfectionist, is upset a little bit because he's like, I really wanted to give you the whole body. He was like, I let you down. I'm sorry that I only have the arm. I wanted to give you the whole thing. But Hrothgar is thrilled. They're all super happy, and they have this enormous party. Again, party button. And a shop comes, and a shop is kind of an old way of saying a bard, or a poet, or a musician. And they were there to entertain people, and bards also, kind of their function was to keep history alive by putting it into song. And so that's how they would continue to tell the stories of their people, is by playing these songs that then people would learn and sing through the ages. So you may have noticed that in the middle of the second party, there is suddenly this italicized section, which is called the Frisian segment. And it, again, has a frame story thing going on. And suddenly we are talking about the Danes and